This Icon podcast is hosted and sponsored by Sphere Rocket Virtual Assistants, a leading provider for your virtual assistants and outsourcing needs. Owned by one of the top-ranking EXP agents, Justin Nelson. Sphere Rocket VA provides a one-stop virtual staffing solution for business owners, and we specialize in helping business owners grow their business by leveraging through virtual assistants. Trusted by the top names in the real estate industry like Kyle Whistle, Andrew Franklin, John Kitchens, and many more. Get ready to up your success and we'll help you achieve your business goals. Book your free consultation at sphererocketva.com and find out how we can make your life easier.
Welcome back to another episode of the Icon Podcast, getting to talk to the top 3-4% of EXP realtors out there. Today, we get the opportunity to get to know Will a little better. Welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me, Gianna.
Of course, excited to get to know you. So give us the background. Who are you? Where are you from? How did you find yourself in the industry of real estate?
Well, it's been a long road. I'm 53 and I've been a realtor since I was 19.
So oh my gosh. Okay, awesome.
I'm in my 35th year. And my wife and I started our own brokerage February of 2001.
Okay.
I grew it as a teamerage. It was me. I was a solo agent with one other person for a long time. Then 2013, hired one of my wife's good friends. She became my office manager, grew the team to 5. We sell between 200 and 258 houses a year. And I've been with EXP since September 10th of last year.
Okay, awesome. Well, congrats on the crazy journey. And so, you like you said, you had your own brokerage. You opened it up in 2001 and you joined in September last year. What convinced you to go ahead and put that brokerage to rest, this brand that you built, and make that jump over to EXP? Who introduced it to you? How did you go through that process?
My sponsor is Jesse Zagorski out of San Diego. And I actually have another business, socialorchard.com, where I help agents nurture their sphere. My business is mainly referral based.
Sure.
My team as well. We don't pay anything for leads right now.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, we have a Facebook group and we nurture our past clients and our sphere of influence in that Facebook group. So I turned that into a business. That was going to be my exit plan, not EXP. Well, in the course of trying to grow that, I ended up on a dozen or so podcasts last year, and one of which was Jesse's podcast. So I met him, no interest whatsoever in making any changes. We had a very profitable business, no headaches, because we had such a small office. We didn't have enough bodies to ruin it for us. So it was just 6 of us. So anyway, I went out to the build event. He invited me out there. I reluctantly went. He said he would introduce me to some team leaders to help grow my social orchard business. And by the end of the second day, I was like, I can't believe it, but I think I'm really interested in this. I went home, told my wife, told my agents the next day, and within 2 weeks, we were over.
That's awesome. And, what have you experienced with EXP that maybe you weren't expecting in the first place, right? So like they've got stock options, collaboration, rev share. But now that you're over here, what have you experienced with EXP that you weren't expecting in the first place that you really enjoyed?
Well, so I didn't know what to expect because we had our own brokerage for almost 21 years.
Yeah.
And everything. No one controlled us. We did what we wanted to do when we wanted to do it. And it was very profitable. We were doing well over $1 million in commissions a year. And it was great. But the challenge I was having was how am I going to replace a high 6-figure income as I approach 60 years old? What am I going to do to replace that? I don't want to go into my retirement having to go on a strict budget. The number of rentals I would have to own to throw off $30 or $40 or $50 or $60,000 a month would just be exorbitant.
Yeah.
And that's what I was struggling with for the last 2 years. Anyway, so basically, revenue share is what did it for me. I didn't care about the stock. I mean, the stock's great. The Icon Award comes with, a lot of stock. But for me, it was growing a brand, a new brand, an exciting brand. That's the fastest growing real estate company ever. In my market, which is very light on EXP, we're mostly Keller Williams and a big independent. And I realized very quickly that no one can compete with this brand. And once there's some well-known, well-respected agents here, everyone's going to follow. So
Absolutely.
to make this my chat. I mean, it was an exciting venture for me because now I get to act like I own a brokerage without buying a franchise and could benefit financially exactly the same way as I would if I would have bought a big brand. And that's the part that excited me. In terms of what do I like, my team, my business partners who are my team, they're benefiting wildly because they have all the same options that I have. It's not just about me. They're able to get stock for their families. They're able to grow residual income for their families. They're not going to leave me and go somewhere else. And even if they do, they're still in my rev share organization. So there's just so many benefits. But the staff is very available. I'm a very cynical person, and I discovered that when I came here, I thought it was going to be overblown and then not meet what they told me. It's better. I mean, EXP World is amazing. It's not a game. There's nowhere else in our lives that we can get service as quickly as an EXP World. You can talk to a broker in minutes, accounting in minutes, customer support in minutes. It's not emailing, waiting for a response, staying on hold for hours.
Right.
I mean, it's the metaverse, and it's amazing. And it took me a minute because I'm older to adapt, but the whole company is just so forward thinking. And I was at Remax and Century 21 previously, both great companies, but they're owned by the broker, and everything's about the franchisor and the owner. EXP's agent owned, and everything they do revolves around making us want to recruit more, meaning growing a company that makes us want to cheerlead for. And everything they do is about making us happier, providing more value, giving us more resources. And in turn, that just makes us, scream to the mountaintops, telling our friends that they need to be here too.
Right. And, well, you mentioned the metaverse and it being a huge tool here with EXP, but like you said, not everybody is very technologically, literate at first. It's tough. It's a whole new metaverse. It's tough for me, and I've grown up with Facebook for as long as I can remember. So is EXP very helpful to you in that? Were they providing the tools to help you understand?
Oh yeah. I mean, it was way easier. I mean, all you have to do is create an avatar, and then you just walk around. And as long as you know how to use the arrows or your mouse, that's the hardest part. At the end of the day, it's basically having everybody that you need at that moment is on a Zoom with you. You don't have to go on their calendar, schedule it in 3 days or 5 days or a week. You can jump in and get on a Zoom equivalent like this, where we're talking to the human, whether you've got a cartoon face or it's your face, you're still getting the same service. And you can accomplish a whole lot when you're having a conversation with someone versus sending emails.
Right.
Workplace chat's fantastic, but I like going into EXP World because I can get an answer much, much quicker.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a really cool tool running around EXP World. And Will, you're very busy and you've got a lot going on, high production. So, how do you take care of yourself? How do you find time to recharge? What fuels you? How do you chase this work-life balance that everybody talks about, but nobody has seemed to have perfected yet?
Well, I've always been one. I'm not a risk taker. I came to EXP when there were 60,000 agents. I figured no way they can fail now. So I'm not an early adopter. I don't like taking big risks. I had no interest in turning my life upside down. I've been married 29 years. I've got 2 adult kids. I have an amazing team.
Yeah.
That I want to take care of. Basically, for me, I had no experience recruiting. I had 5 people, but I'm one to exploit opportunities that are given to me. And agents that are at EXP during a period of time where it is growing in an unfathomable way, almost 1,000 agents a week, and they have so many tools, the compensation, the agent ownership, the ability to grow a residual income. For a guy like me, that once I trusted it, and that's all it took, once I trusted it, I just had to be here. Excuse me. So how do I achieve work-life balance? I just fit it in. Excuse me. So I try to get I try to have 2 phone calls with agents a week. That's all. I still sell 60 houses a year myself. My wife and I go to Florida, Marco Island, Florida, for 2.5 months a year. I've been doing that for 4 years. I just try to, I run about 40 miles a week. I just try to take advantage of these, opportunities that are afforded to me.
Absolutely. Well, no, that's great to find that and find what refuels you and helps you be your best self, client facing, family facing, business facing, whatever that is. And Will, you're here because you're an Icon agent, and let's dive into that a little bit more. So in your market, about how many houses do you have to sell to cap? Like, what's your average house price?
Our average commission's about $6,500. So you got to sell. So you've got to sell probably what, 80% of 6.4. You got to sell about 4 houses.
Okay. Wow. That's a pretty good number compared to.
And then 20 more. So
yeah.
I qualified for Icon after 4 months.
Okay, awesome. I love that, Will. And more than just production, Icon is about that cultural commitment. And were you at shareholders?
Yep.
Yep, and they were coming out with a whole new kind of point system for that cultural commitment piece. But for the sake of simplicity, we could talk about, what have you done for your cultural commitment in the past? Mentorship, vetting other icons, teaching in EXP world.
Well, I haven't gotten to that part yet, so I have to do it, but I haven't reached out to anybody about it yet. I need to do that.
Yeah,
it's my
put
first
that on your to-do list for sure. But that's cool. Do you have like something that you want to gravitate towards, or still kind of just want to see your options?
I think one of my strengths is helping agents grow a referral-based business.
Yeah. So you can coach with that, or you can teach in EXP world. I think that would be an awesome lesson, very resourceful to everyone. And then my last question about the Icon Award is the benefits that come with it, right? So you get the opportunity to earn your cap back in stock, the opportunity to go to shareholders and EXPCon and be paid for it through stock, and a big glass shiny trophy that's really hefty, very nice. So what's your favorite part of Iconing? What makes Will say, I want to do this again?
Well, I've never been one. I mean, I qualified for all sorts of Century 21 awards back in my 20s, but since we had our own brokerage, awards meant nothing to me. I just wanted to, and competition meant nothing to me. I just wanted to have happy clients and, make as much money as possible in the process. The Icon Award, the thing that other agents don't get is this nice little app on your phone, and it has a Morgan Stanley ShareWorks app on it, and you click on that, and there's money in there that just showed up just because you're doing your job. So the minute you become Icon, you would have gotten $8,600 in stock. You don't get that anywhere else,
right?
So
no job, no other brokerage.
No. I mean, there's other cloud-based companies that are coming up the back, and they're doing, they're offering similar programs, which is going to make it very, very hard for other brokerages to compete over the next 10 to 15 years, but I mean, they put that stock in my account. Usually when I have an award, I don't even care. It just sits on a desk or goes somewhere. But the $8,600 and then the opportunity to get the other $8,000 back just by going to the shareholder summit, which I did, and then also the EXPCon, which I'm going to, and then between now and October, I just need to teach. What is it, 5 or 6 hours?
Yeah,
like which is exciting. I think that EXP is one of their sustainability actions that they've taken is that they want top producing agents, so they give them ownership in the company to thank them and to retain them. They share revenue with them. They want them to give back to the other agents and help train them. And then they want you to go to the events because they want the camaraderie and the collaboration. I mean, they've pretty much created in my world a pretty perfect system.
Absolutely. I agree with that. It's been an incredible award. I've done almost 170 podcasts with Icon agents. So, getting to talk about all the benefits and all the opportunities it's opened up for people and talk about employee retention. What better way to keep them excited about your company than to give them a piece of the pie, right?
Absolutely. It makes all the difference in the world.
Yes, it does. And Will, let's put you in a little bit of a scenario here. As you know, a mentor and like somebody that is willing to teach an EXP world. If a rookie agent or somebody new to EXP were to come up to you and ask, as somebody new here, is it possible for me to icon? What are the things I need to focus on? And what are some mistakes to try to steer clear of? What advice would you give them for iconing their first year at EXP?
Well, obviously, they're going to need to sell between 30 and 35 houses in most markets.
Mm-hmm.
So and 87% of agents fail in the first 5 years. And the reason for that is that they don't make commitments, and then they're not consistent. So I would tell that agent that they need to make a list of everybody that they know and stay in their heads every day, so that when they run into someone looking to buy or sell a house, then they're going to recommend you. I think if you do that, and you reach out to people on a daily basis just to have substantive conversations with people about buying or selling a home, or just checking in with people and build those relationships, that's the currency of our business, the relationships. And I think that's what's going to make someone have a long-term career. And the hours of calling that I made 20 years ago is benefiting me today, because I've got hundreds and hundreds of relationships that I've continued to nurture.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Well, no, that's incredible. And like you said, staying at the top of the mind so that when your services are needed, your name's the first one to pop into the head, because that word of mouth is more powerful than any other marketing tactic that you can think of out there.
Right. 74%, according to PR, 74% of home buyers and sellers hire the first agent they talk to. So it's very important, especially with all of the distractions with social media. We're spending an average of 6 hours a day looking at social media, between 3 and 6 hours a day. So it's very easy to be forgotten. So I think it's more important than ever to stay in touch with the people who do know you. Our world, I mean, the real estate market's going to go on with or without us. It's a ball of energy that's turning every day because of certain triggers. So I look at the real estate market as multi-level marketing, because the more people that you can have think of you, then they're going to run into people looking to move now, down the road, or they're going to be moving themselves. So the more people you run into, then you're going to start seeing these calls drop out of the sky saying, hey, Gianna, Alex told me to call you, or whatever. And that's all built by you creating and nurturing relationships consistently.
Absolutely. I agree, Will. And that's great advice. And I'm coming up on my last question here. It's kind of a two-part question. Were you ever skeptical of moving over to EXP?
For 6 years.
Mm-hmm. And what were you nervous about?
I wasn't nervous. I just didn't believe in the brand. I didn't think it was sustainable. I didn't run into anyone who I really, we sell $30-40 million worth of real estate a year, and I wasn't going to put my life sideways unless I found people that I felt had as much to lose as I did. So it wasn't that I was nervous. I just didn't take it seriously for a long time. I just thought they were there. And it wasn't until I went to the Build event, Brent Gove's event last year.
Yeah.
Jesse, and I met Rick Jiha, and I met some of these other amazing people at this organization, and how successful they are, and how they sold businesses to come here and closed RE/MAX offices and Keller Williams offices to come here. I was like, wow, if they're willing to take a risk like that, then it's probably going to be okay for me. And that's what made it for me. But once I made the decision, there were no nerves at all. I looked at this as a massive opportunity, and I wanted to get here as quickly as possible.
Absolutely. And Will, for somebody that's out there, and, even if you could go back in time and talk to yourself 6 years ago, for somebody that's watching right now, maybe they're a little skeptical of EXP, nervous with breaking up with their brokerage, or they hear the things in the industry like, oh, EXP is a cult, it's a pyramid scheme, et cetera, et cetera. What would you, say to somebody watching about making that move, or yourself 6 years ago?
As far as the cult and the pyramid scheme, I'm fortunate enough to have been around pre-Keller Williams. Now, Keller Williams started in 1984, but they didn't really start. They didn't come into our area until about 2005 or 6. And because of the profit sharing, and you had to have a sponsor, and they had their family values, Keller Williams had exactly the same message. They had agents out there, recruiting and barfing on agents about about Keller Williams. It was exactly the same thing. Well, they grew through that and became the largest real estate company in the world. Well, so I was fortunate enough to have that in my head. And I thought, well, this is happening. We like to mock things for self-preservation. We like to mock things that are different, or we don't take things that are different seriously. And I'm not an early adopter, but I didn't take it seriously. But once there were 60,000 agents here, and I met a couple of people that I clicked with, EXP is gonna follow exactly the same path as Keller Williams, because they have more to offer than Keller Williams. People join Keller Williams. They're a great company because of profit sharing and being around other top agents. Well, EXP offers revenue share, stock ownership, and the better agents. So that's why people are flocking here quicker than they have anywhere else. And so you have to do what's comfortable for you. But if you're in your 30s, 40s, or 50s, or 60s, and you're thinking about, and you're a successful agent, and you're thinking about, what can I do to create an exit plan from this business so that I don't have to die with a pen in my hand? For me, this seemed like it was a very viable opportunity. And that's what I'm using.
Absolutely. No, Will, that's really well said. And we're coming up on over 22 minutes on the podcast here. I think it's been an awesome episode. You've shared some very incredible advice and ways to access resources for both rookies and people that have been in the real estate industry a while, looking over to come to EXP. What would you like to wrap up with today? Any last minute advice or words of wisdom or anything to do with real estate, EXP?
Well, if you're a real estate agent, you need to just obviously be focusing on your relationships, as I said. Mm-hmm. But you're looking for, EXP offers 3 buckets of money. Everyone else is 1. So they're now, they're bigger than RE/MAX. They're going to be bigger than KW within 2 years.
Yeah.
For a logical, cynical person like me, it was a very easy decision.
Mm-hmm.
Once I finally clicked, I got here within 2 weeks, and we had 28 deals pending. My wife stayed back. She was the broker. We closed them out. I was over at EXP with the rest of my team. I'm just very, very excited to be part of this fast moving train. And I've met all the leadership now. I've met Glenn. I've met David Mard. I've met Chuck Fazio the other day. There's just an amazing group of leaders at this organization.
Absolutely. And they're right there with you. I ran into a lot of those names at shareholders, and they're happy to talk, if they have time. You ever seen, real estate agents are already stretched out like crazy. And those guys, they've got some crazy schedules too. So great leadership. Everybody's happy to talk. If y'all are interested in joining EXP, asking more questions about it, reach out to Will. We live in this awesome thing called a metaverse in technological times. So if you guys want to grab a coffee or a drink over Zoom or in real life, if you're in his market, feel free to do so, because EXP is all about answering questions and making sure you're informed when you make the decision if you want to switch or not.
Can I add one last thing?
Please.
I just thought of this. I reached out to Ibrahim Hussein, who had the #1 Keller Williams team in Canada. Sent him a message the other day. He's not in my organization. I said, hey, man, I'm trying to attract some large teams, and I'd love to talk to a guy of your caliber. Any chance that you would let me interview on my small podcast? He reached out and he said, sure, man, let me know when. And I'm interviewing him Thursday morning. I reached out to Brad Vanderwall, who was the #1 RE/MAX agent in Canada, 1,250 home sales. Same thing. Brad actually got on a 3-way call with someone I'm trying to recruit last week, and he's not in my organization. That in terms of collaboration, if you want to get around the top people in the business, all you've got to do is find them, and they're easy to find at EXP. Send them a workplace chat, reach out to them on social media. Everyone's responded back to me. Everyone's been willing to talk, and you can't get that anywhere. Everyone, when they said to me, one big fire last year, I laughed at it. It's true. Everyone is a shareholder. They all want to help grow this thing. Everyone's excited. And I never thought that would actually pan out that way, but that's exactly how it is. I mean, everyone's willing to help everybody.
It's incredible. They say rising tide raises all boats, and EXP, lives for that. And it's so true. I mean, you want everybody coming over here. You want the people that are in your downline selling homes, what other brokerages would consider, stealing your lunch. Everybody gets a piece of that lunch here. And, the rev share is incredible. And, you want this company to succeed. So you want somebody else in this company to sell a home, whoever it is, so that those stocks begin to rise. And, everybody wins here. And I've not seen a more credible and just, bulletproof business model where everybody truly does win.
It's funny, Gianna, because if you would have, me and one of my close friends, Mark Young, he and I used to just sit around and joke about, oh, it's never going to work. They're cut revenue share off. I mean, now he's at EXP too now, by the way. I recruited him. I mean, it's like we went from like staunch, what's the word for not liking it? I'm losing here. But
I don't know, just
yeah, we were completely against it to all in. For me, it was less than a week. Once it made sense for me, then I thought it, and I knew it could be real and live forever. Then I was like, why would I not want to be there?
They say once you see the model, you can't unsee it.
That's what happened to me.
Well, Will, thank you so much for your time today. Are you going to be at EXPCon?
Yeah, we're planning on going.
Awesome. Well, I would love to catch up with you there. And once you find out what you want to do for your cultural commitment, or maybe you get a better understanding of how those points work with this new model, let me know if you want to hop back on for a little spin-off podcast. We could do a teaser of maybe some lessons that you'll be throwing out in EXP world. I
actually missed that. So maybe we could connect offline and you can explain that point system to me.
Sure. Yeah. I don't know too much about it either because, they just introduced it and they said details to follow. It looks pretty interesting. I think it'll be good. It's going to make Icon, a little harder to achieve for everyone, but it's going to make it that much more of an elite status. So
they just top people because top people bring top people. If they can get top people here, others follow.
That's right. Success leaves breadcrumbs. I mean, I've got all those quotes for you.
You're right. All right, Gianna. Thank you.
Well, thank you. We'll connect again soon. Bye-bye.
This Icon podcast is hosted and sponsored by Sphere Rocket Virtual Assistants, a leading provider for your virtual assistants and outsourcing needs. Owned by one of the top-ranking EXP agents, Justin Nelson. Sphere Rocket VA provides a one-stop virtual staffing solution for business owners, and we specialize in helping business owners grow their business by leveraging through virtual assistants. Trusted by the top names in the real estate industry like Kyle Whistle, Andrew Franklin, John Kitchens, and many more. Get ready to up your success and we'll help you achieve your business goals. Book your free consultation at sphererocketva.com and find out how we can make your life easier.